Good evening, folks. So, I'm terribly sorry for the lack of number of videos lately. I know you all are starting to get impatient with me. I usually crank out about 5 a day, but to be honest, I've been reading through this horseshit of epic proportions. That is Brendan Dassey's February 27th interview with Wiegert and Fossbender at Mishicot High School. And I gotta tell you, folks, I keep having to take breaks from reading this drivel because all I want to do is commit acts of violence against Wiegert and Fossbender. Now, I printed this up because, to be quite honest, don't mind him. That's just my 2-year-old. He's in that weird squeaky phase, where basically they're just a giant walking squeaky toy. Yeah, he's there. I really should just put him in his Halloween costume from this year. He was an octopus. And at least then it would be amusing. If we had a dog, I could at least be like, here, boy. So, I think one of the most interesting statements from this is in the very first paragraph on the very first page. And this is where Fossbender starts, and notice this, folks. Fossbender loves to hear himself talk, kind of like me, but he doesn't say anything worth listening to. But here in the middle of this paragraph, it's very interesting. He says, we're not here to jump in your face or get into you or anything like that. I know that may have happened before and stuff like that. We're not here to do that. Folks, that is a statement designed to trick Brendan into believing that he can trust them. He then says, I know something's bothering you, and you know that, and it's got to be laying real heavy on you. He's a police officer. He has a badge. Brendan has an IQ of 70. And these kinds of qualifiers are designed specifically to make you feel like you can trust the police. And it's usually about the time that you hear this kind of shit coming out of their mouth that you know to say, I want my lawyer. Moving on. Brendan then says that what's bothering him is that Stephen is gone and he can't see him. See, folks, we've already established that Brendan Dassey's father is not a big part of his life. We've already established that he doesn't see him very often. This is a boy who even his stepfather is not a very good parental figure to him. So this is a boy who is looking, searching, desperate for a male adult to bond with. Okay? Stephen was that male for him. Stephen was that older adult male mentor, and now he's gone. And Brendan feels alone and afraid. He even says, Fossbender asks him, you're pretty close with him, huh? And he says, yeah, I helped him fix his cars and stuff like that. And he also stated that him and Blaine would help Stephen a lot. So, Steve was being a good uncle. As I would expect. I expect no less. Thank you very much. They talk a little bit more, and then he says, Fossbender tells him, anything else bothering you? To which Brendan replies, not really. Not really. Because nothing's bothering him. I mean, you don't say, if you're lying and you actually saw or did something really fucked up, you wouldn't say the words, not really, and leave it at that. You'd say, oh, no, nothing that I can think of, officer. No, I'm good. You would keep reiterating the denial. Okay, this is how you learn how to spot lying. Now, this part, this is barely on the second page, folks. This paragraph right here is what really burns my biscuits. Fossbender tells Brendan, we know that you were by the fire with him, and if you built the fire, and we believe that that's where Teresa was cooked. Teresa was cooked. Like she's a fucking steak. Okay, it's one thing for the killer to talk about her like that. It's another thing for a fucking cop to talk about her like that. That is unprofessional, unwarranted, and conduct unbecoming. Sorry, Fassbender, but I'm going to take that thin blue line and wrap it around your fucking neck. And Brendan keeps telling him, no, you know, there was some branches in a cabinet that we threw in the fucking fire. And this gets me, folks. Fassbender then tells him, you know, if you think you saw something in the fire and it's starting to bother you, or you're feeling bad about it, the only way it's ever going to end is if you talk about it. I gotta believe you did see something in that fire. He then proceeds to say, because Teresa's bones were intermingled in that seat. Now see, now he's telling the kid what the kid saw. That is not how you conduct an interview with a witness. That's how you conduct an interview with a suspect, but they're flat out lying to him in many parts of this. And that's not how you conduct an interview, fucking period. It is unconstitutional. And quite frankly, how the fuck Brendan Dassey's attorneys didn't get this shit thrown out, I will never know. The next part is just glorious on so many levels here. We're not going to say you did and we're not going to say you didn't. We're here to give you the opportunity to come forward, to talk to us about what you did see or encountered out there that night. You're a kid, you know, and we've got people back at the sheriff's department, district attorney's office, and they're looking at this saying there's no way that Brendan Dassey was out there and didn't see something. They're talking about trying to link Brendan Dassey with this event. They're not saying that Brendan did it. They're saying that Brendan had something to do with it or the cover-up of it, which would mean Brendan Dassey could potentially be facing charges for that. And Mark and I are both going, well, he's a kid. He had nothing to do with this. And whether Steve got him out there to help build a fire and he inadvertently saw some things, that's what it would be. It wouldn't be that Brendan actually helped him dispose of this body. Folks, that entire statement is designed to terrify the shit out of a 16-year-old child who has cognitive impairment. Mind you, Brendan Dassey has a 70 IQ. That is the cognitive abilities of a third grade student. I've got a child about that age. And you know what? If somebody were saying something similar to her, she'd be freaking the fuck out. She'd be freaking out and she would be saying whatever the fuck she needs to say to get the hell out of there. Okay? You need to remember that when you're talking about Brendan Dassey. Brendan Dassey looks like a big guy. He looks like an adult at 16, but he's not. He's got the mental capabilities of an 8-year-old child. And he is terrified out of his fucking wits. And how Barb allowed this? Oh, that's right. They didn't call her until after they fucking interviewed him, which is unconstitutional. And why the Wisconsin Supreme Court refuses to look at his case, I will never know. But somebody in that Supreme Court needs to realize that when this shit ends, your ass is going to be on the line. Because you didn't follow Brendan Dassey's constitutional right. You were more concerned with not getting your ass in a sling by the public. This whole fucking statement, you know, it would be impossible for me to do even just this much in a single video, folks. One video would be about a half an hour. If you're lucky and I talk fast. Fassbender then says, you know that you saw him put some garbage bags on, but I can look, I can't see your eyes, but by your look, I can tell you know of something. You saw something or somebody. We've gotten a lot of information, and you know some people don't care. Some people back there say, no, we'll just charge him. We said no, let us talk to him, give him the opportunity to come forward with the information that he has and get it off his chest. Fassbender, you're a fucking slime. And how dare you play on this child's terror? Would you question an 8-year-old child like that? Actually, I could easily believe that you would. You slimy piece of shit. You're slimy shit. That's what you are. You're the kind of slimy shit that comes out of a dog's ass when it's eaten some rotten leftovers. That's all you are, you fucking disgusting prick. All right, folks, I'm going to keep slugging through. If you've got any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next video.